Hi VC, it's Rob here with another video, and you might notice I'm doing maybe a few more videos than I used to do. One of the reasons is really where I come from in the UK. Oldham is more or less back on lockdown. There's been quite a big spike in coronavirus around the Oldham area, so pretty restricted really as to what you can get up to. So apart from going to work and going shopping, there's not much you can do. So I've seen a few people jumping in on this thread started by Mccook over in Northern Ireland, and the idea of the thread is to show 20 greatest hits albums that if you had to choose them, which ones would you take on a deserted island? So a deserted island that's got facilities for you to play records and an unlimited bar and food regularly available. So sounds like paradise to me. So which records would I take? I'm pretty restricted because I don't have greatest hits by a lot of my favourite sort of bands really. When I was looking at my greatest hits, I do have some obviously, but anything mostly from the last 20 years I don't have greatest hits. So I've had to sort of rifle through some sort of older artists and even some records that I've never actually played, so I thought I'd take them on my desert island with me. So on my deserted island. So yeah, COVID in the UK. I've not done a video talking about it for a while, but I think if you say the word shambles, then I think that sort of sums up the British government. Anyway, let's get cracking. Which record would you take greatest hits? So the first one's very obvious choice for me, so that'd be Snap, which is greatest hits of the Jam plus some album tracks, and for me this would be a no-brainer. So yeah, the Jam. An artist who I really like and I think could really suit being on a deserted island would be Grace Jones. So this is Grace Jones Comp. I do love Grace Jones. I just love her image, I love her attitude, her style, everything about her. I even like View to a Kill. So yeah, and that's a very striking pose. So Grace Jones would be coming on the island with me. And so would the Stone Roses, so the Manchester band, part of the baggy scene, started the baggy scene really, and for a couple of years was huge in Manchester, very influential for me. I had all the t-shirts, etc. Class myself as a big Stone Roses fan. So yeah, while I was daydreaming about my past in Manchester, I'll be listening to the Stone Roses. So yeah, Stone Roses will be coming along with me. So this is maybe a little bit of an odd choice, but it's a greatest hits by an artist who I feel didn't reach, you know, what greatness he would have reached if he hadn't been killed in a plane crash. So that's Buddy Holly, and Buddy Holly's greatest hits. And this is an album that I can remember playing and just being blown away really by how influential Buddy Holly was, and how sad it is that you know, he isn't around to sort of see how influential he was. So yeah, I'm a bit of a fan of Buddy Holly, so that'd be a good one to take. And I've recently been listening to The Animals. So I saw a documentary on TV about Eric Burdon, found him pretty interesting character, and the Animals, out of the albums that I've got, I'd want to get more into the Animals, so I'd take this along with me. And a band from the 60s, obviously I do have quite a lot of 60s comps, so they do sort of dominate a little bit. So the Small Faces, being a mod, riding around on my scooter, HQ Park is just one of my all-time favourite songs. But on here we've got Tin Soldier and Lazy Sunday, and is Lazy Sunday on here? Lazy Sunday isn't on here, but this is it's not. There is a little bit of a greatest hits, but you know, not a fantastic greatest hits. There is things missing, but yeah, the Small Faces, one of my favourite '60s bands, and another one of my favourite '60s bands is the Beach Boys. So I've got a lot of comps by the Beach Boys, but I don't have the one with the surfer on. But this has got Darling on it. There's a lot of sort of late '60s stuff on here. I Can Hear Music and Wild Honey. It's got I Get Around on it and Good Vibrations, Heroes and Villains, Breakaway, which I love. But it's got Sloop John B, which I know a lot of people like, but that's probably one of my least favourite Beach Boys tracks. But I'd want to have the Beach Boys with me. Hopefully it'll be lovely and sunny on this desert island, because I'm not really used to the sunshine coming from Manchester. I mean, it's the middle of August. And it's absolutely chucking it down outside. So yeah, the Beach Boys always good for the summer. So yeah, the Beach Boys. And another artist who's from the '60s, who's yeah, really well respected and well regarded, is Otis Redding. So he's not an artist who I'm hugely familiar with, and I picked up this greatest hits last year, and I've not really delved into it too much. So while I'm twiddling my thumbs waiting to be rescued, yeah, Otis Redding might be a good one to listen to. And when I wanted to think about my dad, not that my dad was the walrus of love, but he was a big fan of Barry White. So yeah, Barry White's greatest hits, and of course my channel is Rob Walker Let the Music Play, and yeah, obviously that means I'm a big fan of Barry White, so I'll take Barry White with me and think about my dad. And I'd take Bob Dylan with me, because again, he's such a highly regarded songwriter. I don't have Neil Young's greatest hits, but Bob Dylan's a good second place, isn't he? And I'm sure if I was stuck on the desert island for 20 or 30 years, I'd know all the tracks on this album. So yeah, Bob Dylan's greatest hits. Now, this is a funny choice to take with me. You don't see Chris Rea shown very often on the VC. So I think Richard has shown Chris Rea before. Chris Rea from, I think he's from Middlesbrough. And this is a greatest hits that I rescued from a tip where there was a box of albums that had been thrown away, and I rescued this. So why am I taking this with me? Well, it's got the song Driving Home for Christmas on it. So when Christmas comes around on a deserted island, Christmas for me does not start until I hear Driving Home for Christmas. So hopefully I'll have some decorations and enjoy my turkey dinner. But yeah, listening to Driving Home for Christmas by Chris Rea. Now, I'm taking this live album, and I kind of class it as a greatest hits. So Peter Gabriel live. So this has got a lot of his hits from sort of his earlier period. Salisbury Hill and Beco, Shot the Monkey and stuff like that. So I'm classing this as a greatest hit, so I'm taking this with me. As Mazzy says, I make the rules. So I'm a big fan of The Who, so picked up this comp earlier this year. I really love the cover of it, and obviously The Who's hits speak for themselves. And I'm sure I'd spend many hours listening to this album, because yeah, big fan of The Who. So we had The Who, and this is a comp I picked up last year by a band who I wasn't that familiar with their music, and I've not played this comp that much, but if I took it with me I could listen to it more. And it's Creedence Clearwater Revival, greatest hits of theirs, so I'll take that one with me. Now, this is an album, again, I only bought this album for the cover. It was quite cheap. I've never played it. I know there's sort of part of that sort of Canterbury scene, maybe. Take it with me if I don't like it, and I can always sort of use it as a frisbee. So yeah, Family, the best of Family. So, you know, if you're aware of Family, am I missing out on something? I do like that cover though, as a big football fan. That looks like Leicester City to me, but it looks like a bit of a colour clash. But yeah, love that cover. So yeah, but take that with me. And like I say, the cover's good, so I could always put it up on my wall and think about my football team, Oldham Athletic. I take the Greatest Hits of Steely Dan with me. So big lover of Steely Dan, really relaxing sort of lounge music, well produced. And this is a comp that covers everything really. So yeah, I'd love to take this one with me. Sort of the most recent album would be The Twang, The Best of the Twang from Birmingham. Great songs, close to the heart in my case. A lot of memories, a lot of good memories, a lot of sad memories. But yeah, The Twang would be on my turntable quite a bit. And I love The Twang, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone on the VC show The Twang. So maybe I'm wrong, I'm not sure. But yeah, I take The Twang with me. And yeah, decided to take the Beatles with me. So Beatles #1s. Eleanor Rigby's on here, of course, so I think about my daughter, and Penny Lane. And it's just an iconic album full of obviously great songs, so I'll take the Beatles with me. Just keep the Beatles fans happy. I'll take this with me because I don't think I've actually ever played this, but The Best of Vangelis. So I think Vangelis is Greek, famous of course for doing the music for Blade Runner, and I'm getting into instrumental music a lot more now, so I'm sure I'd enjoy this. The Best of Vangelis. Couple more, and yeah, Earth, Wind and Fire. Big fan of Earth, Wind and Fire. So if I wanted to dance around the kitchen on my deserted island, I'd listen to Earth, Wind and Fire. So I've just got a couple of extras here. So I've got a couple of albums here that I class as they're actually studio albums, but I think to me they're greatest hits albums, and they're the only albums you need by these bands. So yeah, Sister's Sledge, I think this is like a greatest hits album. So He's the Greatest Dancer, Lost in Music, We Are Family, and Thinking of You. But this really is the only album you need by Sister Sledge. And another album that's a little bit like a greatest hits is Nevermind the Bollocks. I think that's sort of the only album that you need by the Sex Pistols. It's a little bit of a greatest hits. So that's my response to Richard's greatest hits thread. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you've got any comments about what I showed, I'd love to hear from you. I always get back to you. So thanks for watching this video, and bye for now.